Hi all, thanks for joining us here at Framework FX, and today we're looking at how to pass the FTMO challenge, and specifically we're looking at how to do that by only using one trade per day. Okay, this is a really good video. I think people are going to get a lot out of this. I'm excited to put it out there. Before we get on to it, if you could do us a big favour, if you could like, subscribe and click that notification bell. We're trying to grow, we're trying to make this channel bigger and better, so that would be a real big help if you could do that. Okay, so in this video what we're going to do is I'm going to describe what FTMO is, how you can use it as a trader, and then I'm going to go on to the strategy that I've used several times to pass the FTMO challenges, and how you can utilize that in your own trading to pass as well. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Okay traders, so here we are at FTMO. Now, we're going to talk about this now as if nobody knows what FTMO is, okay? So FTMO is a remote prop trading company, okay? So, simple explanation of it, they will provide you with capital for you to trade and you will split the profit, okay? That's what a prop firm normally does. And these guys are really changing the game. I just want to say while we're starting out here, I have no affiliation to FTMO. I trade with them, but that's about it. I'm not making any money from this. Okay, this is simply to help people out that are interested in trying to become a trader for them. So now that's out of the way, let's describe what it is. So if we could just drop down here, basically there are two steps. Okay, you have the challenge and you have the verification. So the challenge is you have you pay to take the challenge, and it's important that you do pay to take the challenge from their point of view, because obviously if you didn't pay to take the challenge you would have no jeopardy, okay? And they need to know that you can trade with money on the line. So it is important that they do charge for that. You can take a free trial, and I would suggest you doing that once we finish this video. It's completely free, it's 14 days. Go do it, take it, see how you get on using this strategy that I'm going to lay out for you now. So you have a set of rules, you pay for it, you have a set of rules. If you pass them rules, and we'll get onto them in a minute, you move on to the verification stage. Slightly easier set of rules, just to double check that you actually, it wasn't a fluke that you got there. And if you pass that, you then become an FTMO trader, and as it says here, at the end of each month, if you close out the month in profit, they will split the profit with you, 70% going to you, which is very good for a prop trading company. Okay, so if we drop down here and take a look at the rules. So I've only taken $100,000 challenges. They now do $200,000. But if you took $100,000, these are the rules here. So you have to complete it in 30 days. Now it's important to note, and we'll come on to this a bit more later in the video, but that's 30 actual days. So actually you're only talking about sort of 20 to 22 trading days. Okay, and that'll come into the strategy a bit later on. You have to take trades on at least 10 days. You can never lose more than 5% in a day. You can never lose more than 10% overall, and your aim is to hit 10% by the end of the 30-day challenge. And if you do that, then you move on to the next step. So now in the verification stage, I should say, it costs 540 euros to take the 100,000. It's cheaper as you move up and down. In the verification stage, you have twice as long, so you have 60 days. Still have to hit that 10 days, but everything else is the same apart from the profit target, which is halved to just 5%, just to double check that you can still do that. And it's free to do the verification, obviously, because that's included in that. Then if you become a trader, you lose a lot of these rules. You can still only lose 5% in a day. You can still only lose 10% overall, and they will take your account off you if you break those rules. After your first month, if you're profitable, they will refund you this original fee. Okay, and that's important and good to know as well. Okay, another thing to quickly note, and I will move on to, I'll explain it more in the strategy. But if you finish the 30 days on either the challenge or the verification, and you have ticked these boxes, but you haven't reached the 10,000 profit target, but you are in profit, then you will get a free retake of this challenge, and that's really important, and I'll explain why in the next bit. But yeah, that's really important just to note for now. Okay, so that's FTMO. Go and check them out. They are reputable. They are verified. I have traded with them. I have been paid out by them. They are good. So yeah, go check them out for yourself. Have a read through. Have a look at what you need to do. And let's move on now and take a look at the strategy that I've used 3 times, I think it is now, to pass the FTMO challenge. Just before we get to the strategy, we over at Framework FX run a copy trading service. It might be of no interest to you, but it really might be. So why don't you jump across frameworkfx.com, check it out, and it would be really great to see your support. Thanks very much. Okay, so this is it here, all right? And it is a very simple Excel spreadsheet, okay? This is realistically the strategy. Now, I want to explain, this is a risk management strategy, okay? You will still have to go and find your own trading strategy, but this risk management strategy is going to make it a lot easier for you to find a simple, easy strategy to trade with to pass the FTMO challenge, okay? That's why. So this is an actual challenge that I took in October 2020. I've withdrawn everything. I've got rid of all my screenshots. I'll go through everything properly in a minute, and I'll explain the rules of what you need to be looking for. But yeah, this is the strategy. The FTMO challenge, in all honesty, is more or less a challenge on whether you can manage risk properly and manage your money properly. That is what the whole test it really is, in my opinion. And so if you can nail this, then you stand a very good chance of passing. And this is something that a lot of people overlook, okay? It's the discipline and the risk management side of the challenge. So let's go through it now. So what we have here, like I said, you don't get 30 trading days, you get 30 actual days. So I split it up into 20 trading days or challenge days, and I put that over there. These are the dates I took the trade. I took all of them on pound dollar. You don't have to do all of this. This is just, I keep a note of it so that when I come, I take screenshots of all my trade and I annotate them. I would highly recommend you do that. It's not essential to this strategy, but I would recommend you do that just so you can see maybe where you can improve. And so if we move over here, I'll have to explain it all in a bit more detail in a second. The balance, so it's a $100,000 challenge, or it was a $100,000 challenge I took. We want to be taking 1% risk per trade, okay? And I'll explain why in further detail in a minute. And we want a risk reward of 1 to 1.5. So the rules of this strategy are this, and then we'll come on to the bits above. The rules are, we want to be taking just 1 trade per day. Okay, that's obviously what we said in the title of this video. That's all you want, 1 trade per day. That's all we're taking, and it's incredibly important that you stick to that rule. Okay, just 1 trade per day. We also need our risk reward, as we've said. We want to be risking 1%, and our risk reward wants to be 1 to 1.5. Okay, and then we need to, so this is what you need to go and find yourself, and it is so easy to find. You need to find a trading strategy with a 60% win rate or more, okay? A 60% win rate or more, and that is going to give you an opportunity at least once a day, okay? And they're out there, guys. I promise you they're out there. We've done videos on this channel you can look at. Go find a strategy, back test it, and see. So with this, how I do it, and I'll explain, I have 3 trading strategies, all of them that I know on the pound dollar give me a 60% win rate, at 1 to 1.5. Okay, so it's not a big risk reward. That's quite an easy risk reward to hit. I know that all these 3 strategies give me that, and I know that within these 3 strategies, I'm going to get more or less every day at least one of them is going to crop up, and I'm going to be able to execute that trade. Okay, so you don't have to look for 3. You can just do it with 1, and just make sure it's giving you enough opportunities. I know people who they'll look at this, and you'll probably be out there. You'll look at this and you'll think, okay, well I've got a strategy that has, I can have a risk to reward at 1 to 1.5, but it gives me 3 or 4 chances a day. And on that point, I would say to you, and this is really key, just pick the best trade that you can possibly see. So if you know that your strategy is going to give you 3 or 4 opportunities a day, and the first one that comes up, you look and you think, it's okay, it's a chance, I would suggest not taking it and waiting for another one to come along. Wait until the one comes along where you go, yep, that's a good chance, I'll take it, and then execute on that trade. What you really don't want to be doing, and you can't do it if you're going to use this strategy, is taking the first one, it loses, and then seeing a better opportunity come up later and go, I should have waited for that one, or I'll take that one now. It happened to me. It happens to me a lot where I've taken a trade in this and I take a loss, and then a good opportunity comes up later on, and you have to be so disciplined to say to yourself, I'm not going to take it. Okay, and this is where we weed out people that will pass the challenge and people that won't, people that will make it in trading, people that won't. You've got to be disciplined to say, I've taken my one trade for the day, that's it. Okay, and it's actually kind of a luxury to be able to do that. Once you've taken that trade, you can sort of relax a little bit. I use limit orders, so I can literally set and forget. Once I get tagged in, I've got my stop, I've got my take profit, I walk away, and it either hits or it doesn't. Okay, so they're just things to think about. We can talk about that a little bit later on in the video. But now that we've established those rules, I'll take you up to here. Okay, so as I said, we've got 20 trading days. Okay, so what we look at here is wins to break even and a loss allowance. Okay, so to pass the FTMO challenge using this strategy with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and 1 trade per day, we need 12 wins. Okay, and it'll look like this. So we have 12 wins times 1.5. So if we went all 20 days and on the last day we got our 12th win, we'd have 12 wins times 1.5, and then we would have 8 losses at 1%, so that'd be minus 8%, and that gives us our 10% gain. Okay, so hopefully we pass it earlier than that, but if that's the case, we know we need 12 losses. But as I mentioned earlier, as long as you stick to the rules, if you follow this, you'll be well inside there, no more than 5% loss a day rule, etc. If you stick to them rules and you are in profit come the end of the month, you get a free test. Okay, so I know that once I hit 8 wins in a month, I'm at break even. Okay, this is a risk-free challenge for me now, and that is really important because it just helps with your psychology. Okay, and that's what this is all about. It helps your risk management, it helps your psychology. If you can see that number, you can get wins. That's coming down, and we'll see how I get on in this challenge that I did. But yeah, once you hit that, it really does help, because then the pressure's off. You're going to get a free challenge regardless of what else happens. Okay, the loss allowance. So this isn't losses until you fail the challenge. This is losses until you can't pass it. Okay, so I know that once I've lost 8 times, I can't hit that 12 win target. Okay, so these are I just keep an eye on these. Okay, that's all I do. I just keep an eye on them, so I know where I'm at roughly. Okay, so let's take a look how this went for me. So first trade, it was a Monday. I'm a bit OCD like that. I like to start on a Monday. So if we take a look at this, and it was a loss. Okay, let's fill that in. First day, we took a loss. So I'd come across here, I'll drop this loss allowance down to 7. So now I'm only allowed 7 losses for the rest of the month. And this would go down to 99,000. Okay, on the second day, I know what happens here. I lost again. Okay, so my first 2 days of this challenges were losers. Okay, so I was in at 98,000. A lot of people would panic here, because they've got a bit of money on the line. Suddenly things aren't going their way. 2,000 down, 2% down. Don't. There's no need to panic. If you follow this, you follow your rules, there's no need to panic. You've just got to sit there and just let your plan and your discipline take over, okay? And that helps because I remember this day as well, the third day, we took a win, okay? Straight away, that's knocked down to 7, and here is back up at 99,500, okay? So now I'm only 0.5% down. So what was I worrying about? What was I worrying about those first 2 days? And then we follow that up. Remember this? Yeah, this was a win on the Thursday. So already we're at 101,000. So those first 2 days you could be panicking. I'm not panicking. I sat there, I continue to execute my trades properly, and I'm back to 1% up. I remember this Friday, and I need to explain this. Okay, so this was a loss, but it wasn't a loss. Okay, let me explain. I didn't take a trade on this Friday. I'm not a big fan of trading Fridays anyway, but I will take one if an opportunity comes in this strategy. I didn't take a trade this Friday, and the reason I put it down for a loss is because I did lose a trading day. Okay, so I'd still come up here and put this at 5, and I would actually still change this to 100,000. Okay, even though sitting in my FTMO account now is still at 101,000, I ignore that. Okay, I stay away from my FTMO account for the most part. I know that this, as long as I follow this spreadsheet that I've got right in front of you here, I'm going to be there or thereabouts, okay? And I know I can just follow this. I know what's in my account roughly. I know that, you know, as long as I just continue to trust this, that will take care of itself. So yeah, sat over here is in my FTMO account is 101,000. But forget it. I like to know that I've got a bullet in the chamber as well. Do you know what I mean? I've got that extra 1,000 in there. Just forget about it. Forget about that 3,000, or think about it as a 3,000. You know. But because I didn't take a trade that day, I have lost a day of trading. So that does still need to come down, and that's why I put it in as a loss. Okay. So if we move on here, we had a win on that Monday, and if I remember rightly now, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I think this was a really good week for me in this challenge. So I took a win there. So wins coming down nicely there. Took another win, which puts me on 103. So look, if we'd have gone back here, we were panicking at this point. Oh God, we're 2% down. Suddenly we're 3% up just by following it. And look, take a look at it. We're not exactly flying. Do you know what I mean? Not exactly running away with it. We still got 3 losses and 4 wins. So, you know, but because we've got that positive risk to reward, we are building this balance just through sheer discipline and good risk management. This was another win, so we dropped that down to 4, and this goes on to 104,500. This Thursday, I think, yeah, we had another win, so it's a great week for us here. That was 106,000, and then I think I got Snatcher on this Friday, yeah, and I took a loss. Again, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of trading Fridays. They can be a bit volatile, and I took a loss on that one. So this needs to get knocked down as well. So that's where we're sitting, halfway point. We're halfway to target. But what's more important is this. Okay, so we've got 10 trading days left. We just need 3 wins now in those 10 days, and that's us at break even. We've got a free challenge regardless of the rest of what happens. So back to this Monday now. Into the 3rd week of the trial, we have a win. So that puts us on 106,500. And again, most important, brings that down. We take a loss. I remember this week actually as well. This was quite a funny week. That puts us back to 100. But notice the way, obviously, again, because we've got a positive risk reward, even when we're sort of having a win-loss, as you're going to see in this week, we're still building because we've got that positive risk reward. So if we drop this in now, this was a win, takes us to 1. We're only 1 trade away now, guys, from that lovely break-even spot. This was a loss. Drop that down to 2, and this down to 106. And then this Friday was a win. So this is how we're looking, and look at that, break even. Yes. Lovely, that's what we're aiming for. That's your first target. First target is to get those 8 wins in the bag, and then you've got a free repeat regardless of what you do. Okay, as long as you're not silly and you continue to follow these rules, we have a free, because look, we're on 107,500, I think that's right, and we've only got a few days left, do you know what I mean, to finish off. So, did I do that right? Yeah, 107,500. Okay, so we're going to this next week. Where are we at? So we had a win. Now, this is important. Sorry about that. I messed about with that. This is important because we go on to 109,000. Now, remember, sitting over here in our actual FTMO account, we have the 110. So I actually passed this on the 16th day right there. Okay, in my account, that was me done. Passed it, but obviously because of this, as I mentioned earlier, was a break even. We had an extra 1,000 in there. I remember for my ego, I still monitored how I got on for the rest of it, and I did win the next day. So this, I would have passed it anyway, even if that had been a loss. So that's it, guys. That is the whole strategy, and it is a risk management strategy. But it's so important. It's so important that you get this down, because look how simple, but how realistic that looks. Okay. We haven't run away with this. We've had losses in there, you know, and we've had winners, but it's just so simple to do. With just these three real trading rules and following this very strict risk management strategy, we've passed it. We've passed it. We've got 100,000 in capital. Okay, it's that easy, guys. So I have ran through that pretty quickly. I'm sorry if I haven't gone into loads of detail. So if there are questions you've got, please do put them in the comments. I've been away, or I've been very busy the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been as active as I'd like to have been on the YouTube channel, but I'll be getting back to all the comments in previous videos. And if you have a question about this strategy, then please do leave a comment, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. So guys, all that's left for me to say is thanks for joining us. I hope you got something out of the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. And also, as we mentioned earlier in the video, please do jump across and visit us at Framework FX. Just take a look and see what you think. Thanks for joining us, and happy trading.